Good evening and welcome back to the Adventures in Lollygagging. I'm Aaron. I'm going to be your game master. We're returning with Cubicle 7's Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. We're playing through the Litanies of Lost Adventures, and our group has found themselves at the beginning of the Vow of Silence. So if you didn't watch, a couple of weeks ago, they were given a mission by Jackal Varonius via an info dump to their tablets. Um, they were told that they needed to travel to the shrine world of Enoch and go to the monastery of Saint Hephaestium with a two-pronged mission. The primary purpose, the public purpose of their mission is to take custody of the thigh bone of Saint Hephaestium, which is a relic of power. But while they're there, they're also supposed to investigate the monastery and find a group of traitors who apparently embedded themselves in the monastery and are acting against the interests of the Imperium. They were ferried over by a salty Navy officer. She had some issues with Gavious, but seemed okay with everyone else. She dropped them off. They made their way up the winding stairs to the monastery. But they found that the trail had been trapped, and other monks and pilgrims had fallen victim to that. But they were able to recover a couple of IEDs that came in handy a little bit later. They made their way up to the front doors of the monastery, and they saw hiding over by the door what appeared to be a monk. His face was bandaged, he was beaten, and he was holding up a sign, and he was saying, "Shh." The sign said, "Quiet, follow me." And they approached. They made themselves known to Brother Ricard. There was a little bit of a peril of the warps issue happened, and Ricard fell unconscious. There was some scouting of the interior nave of the monastery, and four orcs up in the rafters were detected. Well, Tal, being the inventive sort that he is, immediately climbed up onto the roof, planted IEDs, blew the roof in, knocked the orcs off of the rafters and onto the floor. But orcs are tough, and the battle was engaged. Our team of Varonius troubleshooters were triumphant. However, Sister Celeste fell and is lying crumpled upon the ground, injured and on death's door. But all is quiet. So we're going to pause here for a second. We're going to have our players an opportunity to introduce themselves, the faction that they represent, their archetype, and what their objective is for the session. Now, if you're watching at home and you haven't played Wrath and Glory, you're not sure what objective is, it's like a trigger that the players can work into the session, something that they can work into the session, and if they do, they get a bonus wrath point, as long as it makes sense that they worked it into the session. So, and wrath points are one of the three meta currencies that the game uses to make the heroes be even bigger goddamn heroes, and that's what we like to see. So, we're going to start off with Long. Tell us who you're playing.
Yes, I'll be playing Wigbert Han, a death cult assassin in the faction of Adeptus Ministerium. And my objective for this course is to convert all non-believers to the truth of Imperial cults.
I love it. I love it. So we've got our Imperial Assassin. Melissa, who are you playing?
So I'm playing Sister Nura. She is with Adeptus Sororitas, Sister of Battle. And the objective that I had from last session that I didn't do, but I think it's going to come into play immediately in this session, is to fill my lungs with a bolstering hymn in a time of stress. And I think that her fellow sister going down counts quite well as a time of stress.
That's pretty spot on there, I think. Jeff, how about you?
I am playing Vintael. He is a electro priest of the Fulgurite variety for the faction Adeptus Mechanicus. His objective is to give praise to the Omnissiah for some small miracle, and so I presume that will be, the rest of these fleshbacks surviving, I suppose.
Wonderful. And that brings us around to Ashley. Who are you playing?
I am playing Sister Celeste. She is with the faction Adeptus Sororitas. She's a Sister Hospitaller. And I know that they don't go up to like the second level that we do, but that's because I took a cool thing that gave me a bunch of injuries. I have robotic legs in an eye. That did not help me from catching on fire and falling to need some healing and some assistance.
But even though you were on fire, our resident interrogator rushed to save you.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't let me down. Thankfully, I didn't need like a leadership role because then I would have really been in danger.
There would have been some concern there. But Jessa,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us about our interrogator?
Gavious and Vintael. I'm part of the Inquisition. I'm an interrogator. I'm like an Inquisitorial Acolyte. I have psychic powers. My objective is to postulate on the weakness of the mutant, the alien, and the renegade. So I'm gonna try and mansplain to people at some point that Xenos is bad at some point. Like let me explain something to you. These guys, they ain't no good. That type of stuff.
That seems spot on. I'm considering that you're facing orcs. I think there might be an opportunity to work that in some point today. All right, so we are going to pick up right where we left off. For those at home, I did refresh their wrath points to 2. Ruin is still at 10. Glory is at 4. Sister Celeste is laying charred and broken on the floor of the nave as Brother Ricard slips into the nave, once again holds his sign up and says, and it doesn't make a noise, but he's clearly making the shush sound. And you hear from somewhere further down the corridor, off to the north of where the Imperial altar is, you hear a grumbling shout come. Oi! Stop making such a racket out there! I'm trying to work in here! Keep it down, you boys! If I have to come out there, I'm gonna take your arms off and sew them places they don't belong. And then it goes eerily quiet.
Is that where was that coming from again? Was that like further into the
if you look on the map, I'll ping it. It's like it's up here.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so it's like further into the back of the
further into the back of the nave. And you Ricard once again, he hunches down, almost hiding behind a nave now, a pew now, and he goes, and he starts to shake, and he motions for you. But Sister Celeste is down and charred and almost unconscious. What do you do?
I'll get a closer inspection. Give her a sniff.
You sniff, you see charred flesh, a grimace on her face. You know, she's grievously injured, but she's still conscious. What do you do, Sister Celeste? What do you say when Wigbert gets down right next to your face and takes a big sniff?
She just mumbles, "Don't get hungry," and it's referring to her charred flesh, Jeff.
So what do you do? You're
alive. Let me take a look. I'll see if I can help her in some way. I don't know if there's healing involved or.
So, what you can do?
A Medicaid roll, maybe.
You can, if you want to do it in the moment. You can make a Medicaid roll, and try to heal her that way. If you want to take a little bit of time and regroup, you could pull her body out the main doors and kind of hold up there and take your time and try to heal her. It's whichever way you prefer.
I assume taking her out will give her more health than just me.
I mean, not necessarily, but possibly. And there's less risk to it, that's for sure.
How long is
with a Medicaid roll for healing wounds, you can make a difficulty 3 Medicaid test to restore a wound to a character. Every shifted exalted icon restores 1 additional wound. So you might heal 1 or 2 if you succeed. If you take her out and you guys kind of hunker down for 45 minutes to an hour, and you really take a look at her wounds and really, get the medic kit out and the false flesh, she would heal 4 wounds. But it would take some time, so there's a chance that you guys might get spotted.
Sure. How injured are you again?
I have 4 wounds, but Celeste will just give me the pain meds.
Perfect. I have gear, I think. I do have stims. Let me see what those do again. Oh, they recover shock, actually. That's probably useless.
You could just do a Medicaid check. Just a flat Medicaid check. Do you have a medic kit?
I do, but...
Okay, I can use that on her with my 1 Medicaid.
And Sister Nura is going to be kind of behind you, and she's going to be kind of like singing a hymn that, like, the lyrics of kind of the hymn include that, like, violence is the emperor's love. So you just sort of hear her singing this kind of behind you, encouraging your skill in this area.
Pain is just weakness leaving
5 successes, 1 possible shift. Okay, you also get, actually, using the Medicaid, you get 2 bonus dice. So just roll 2 more d6. Okay, so you got 1 more success. So you got 6 successes, still just the 1 possible shift. So you're working on Sister Celeste. You recover 2 wounds, and you're able to get back onto your feet. I mean, the blistering of your skin, it's 2nd-degree burns in some areas. You're feeling the horrible pain of it, but with a little bit of medical attention, you're able to get back on your feet.
If I can shift that to improve the quality at all?
I already did. You got
you did.
That's how she got 2 back. When you shift 1, you can heal an additional wound for every shift. All right, you guys see Wigbert get Sister Celeste up, Sister Nura singing behind her. Once again, you hear blurting out from up there. I said, shut up!
Is Beric still on the roof, or is he? We said he's.
Would you still be on the roof, or did you come down?
It depends on how much time has passed. Like, if this all happened really quickly, then he probably would still be up there. But if this was like 10 minutes or something, he probably
it would have taken at least 5 or 10 minutes for.
Okay, he'll probably come down then at that point. But I think he would kind of, while they're doing that, maybe like motion to Gavious and almost ironically kind of do like the fingers to the eyes, even though he doesn't have them. And then he's going to try to sneak to the end carefully and quietly to the end of the aisle and see if he can get a peek at whoever or whatever might be shouting this.
I like it. Give me your stealth check.
Okay. Funny story. I'm not actually good at stealth. I'm really not. Oh, goodness. All right. As you can see, with 0 successes.
All right, that's fantastic.
Wow, what a roll.
Oh, no.
I will allow... Gavious, are you following him down there?
Now that I failed my stealth test, he says no. If I would have been good at it, he would have said yes. Metagame piece of shit.
Yes.
Okay. Give me... You
got baited.
You can go ahead and give me a stealth check as well. We'll take
you're gonna
the
die
better
with
of the
me.
2.
We're both going to be space elves soon.
Stealth of that's what again?
It's your stealth check.
Yeah.
It's a skill, so it's if you look at the under your stats, right hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was something else.
No, you're fine. Okay, 2 successes. All right, so
Because I'm super slithery, like a snake.
what's it look like as the two of you are sneaking down past the pews and headed up to the left of the altar? How are you getting there?
I think Birk is probably skirting the wall. Probably not so brazen as to be like directly in the center of the aisle, and more just kind of as carefully as he can. And maybe he like trips over one of the pews or something like that. I'm not sure, but like he would probably be moving along. We'll say like his left of the of this hall.
Gavious is doing the cartoon.
We're not reverse crab walking. We
No.
listen to Wigbert.
No. That's the loud way, Jeff. I want the quiet way. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Come on, don't freeze up on me now, computer. All right, move your tokens down the hall.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the furthest he would go is probably just to like the corner at the end of this sort of row of pews and like kind of peek around first before he goes too far forward.
Okay, give me an awareness check. Difficulty 3, just standard difficulty.
Okay. Definitely better at that than stealth. Okay, that is 5 successes with a shift.
Okay.
So
what do you want to shift for?
I'm going to say extra info if there's gain information, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Or improve quality, whatever you want to interpret as.
I like it. So you hear somebody going, what are they up to out there? That doesn't sound like my boys. That doesn't sound like Grotz. There's something else going on. And you hear shuffling around in that room, and it sounds like somebody is preparing to come out that door.
Okay. Birk will You know what I think Birk wants to do? I think Birk wants to send his electro servo skull to the other side of this this intersection, and so that and it just like instruct the servo skull like Haster to just when to try to essentially distract and get whoever comes out to turn towards the skull, and then so I can like conk them from behind.
Okay, so ping
That's
where you're
the
gonna
idea.
have the skull go.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Oh, Master. That you want me to be a ball to an orc's bat?
I want you to do what you are told.
Woe is the life of a servo skull. And he floats off. And just as he's going across the hall to get to that spot, you see. Let me expand this a little bit. You see another large orc come out of there. He's wearing, it looks like a bloody apron. And he's got surgical tools hanging out. He's got a giant bone saw in one hand. He's got a goblin arm in his left hand. And he's like, I'm trying to do surgery here. Keep it down.
Love this guy so much.
And he walks down. Now, give me, how do you think Haster is distracting him? What do you think it is that Haster's doing to call attention to himself?
I would like Haster to try to essentially pontificate on the various surgical practices and the sort of probability of success of them. And just kind of like verbally just try to irritate and get the orc to come try to shut him up. But before, obviously, the orc gets to him.
I like it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to roll. I'm going to roll his awareness against your stealth success of 2, but
Mhm,
I'm gonna give him a penalty because he's pissed off because somebody is calling into question how effective his surgery is. So I'm gonna make the difficulty 5 instead of 3.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, so close. But he runs past you, not even glancing in your direction. And he says, "Oh, shiny gubbins. I know. A second head on the knob. I'll attach you, and you can be his twin." And he goes to grab for your servo skull, which, if a servo skull could look shocked and terrified, that's what your servo skull would look like. But you have the jump on him. Basically, you have a surprise opportunity here.
Okay. So in the surprise round, is there any limitation as to what we can do, or is it like if I can I literally do a charge? Can I charge onto him from behind?
Yeah, you can. You've got an ambush, so basically you've got a complete free round. You can do whatever you want.
Okay,
You
so
can do a multi attack, anything you want.
I'm gonna do a charge. So full round action. I'm gonna run and I make a melee attack with +1 bonus dice. Yeah,
I like it.
So that's what I'll do. Right. Let's see. Do +1 to my dice pool. Is there a difficulty I should put in?
The difficulty is his defense, which is 3.
Okay. Here we go. All right, that is 5 successes.
And a wrath critical.
With a wrath critical.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
So you hit. Let's. What kind of damage are we looking at here? And you've got one shift possible. So.
Okay. I'm just going to shift this into extra damage. So it's just going to add 1 extra damage die. Do we know how to do that yet?
You should. When you go to roll if you right click on it, you can edit. If you right click on roll damage, you can edit test.
Okay, so I'm gonna get +1 from that, and then I think all my other stuff like brutal and agonizing, I think that's all going to automate. So
should
here we go. As I said, here we go. As I said, here. Okay, let's try this. All right, that's missing one of them. So let me do the other one. All right, nothing on that. So 18 points of damage. -2 AP.
Okay, so
agonizing
his resilience down to 4, so 14.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Do you want to roll your critical?
Sure, I do. Okay. Brutal rupture. Mangled flesh, crushed bone, and ruptured organs make your foe grasp in wretched pain. Target suffers +2 wounds and is hindered.
Okay. Well, you didn't really need the critical, but I just wanted to see what it was. So, why don't you describe what it looks like when you brutally rupture this orc's body and kill him with 1 shot?
So as he's going to attack my servant, not friend, servant, I charge in. I'm gonna like parkour off the wall a bit, and that's gonna give me some elevation. And as I bring my electro-elite staff up, like electricity just courses through it, and I'm gonna smash down directly onto the head of this orc, pushing the head down into the neck and into the chest, causing like just this sudden implosion, and then the face will burst out of the chest ever so slightly, like on eye level with the servo skull.
It's a MK fatality right there.
Yeah. Well, I am rated.
And it's laying and twitching, and then it's the orc is just kind of trying to tap your leg. And as you look down, it flips you off, and then falls dead at your feet.
He will look he will look to Gavious and be like, "What does that mean?"
It means good shot.
And Mad Doc Glorguk dies without ever seeing the enemy. By this time, you guys heard a bit of this scuffle. You don't see any other orcs coming out of any hallways or anything, but they are a very loud and boisterous race, so it's not uncommon for them to be, causing trouble. So maybe nobody cares. In the time it took for you to go down there and go full murder on an orc, Sister Celeste has been treated, and you're back on your feet. What would you guys like to do at this point?
Let's catch up, sisters.
And you see Brother Ricard's is just shaking his hand wildly and pantomiming that you should follow him quietly.
And Sister Nura will kind of lean over to Sister Celeste. Good to see you back on your feet, sister.
And she just kind of grunts, and she's got like this kind of gnarly, like burnt flesh on her. And she pulls out like a pocket knife and just kind of peels that chunk off and then throws it on the ground and just keeps walking.
She's a badass. I love it. So are you going deeper up towards where Gavious and Talavar, or Ricard is down here? He's motioning for you guys to come to the south, but you go wherever you want. There is that room that this orc came out of. There is also another room on the opposite side of the altar from that. And then you do see a large set of double doors directly to the south as well down here.
Sister Nura would want to follow the monk.
Okay. So
are we splitting up?
I don't know. Are you?
I think Talav would have peeked into the room at the very least.
Okay.
Curious.
And I'll go
what
with him.
orc surgery looks like.
So what you do, you see it's little more than a small square space where a bed has been laid out with a couple of cabinets with orc medical supplies on it. It's basically like piles of viscera and a giant staple gun and some blood-encrusted cleavers and a very long scalpel. You do see that half on the bed, half off the bed, is the corpse of a gobbo. And it's two normal arms, and it's got a third arm that's already been sewed into its chest coming out with some additional musculature there. And you think that fourth arm might have been for its back. Its head is twisted around and facing backwards, and both of its eyes have been pulled out and replaced with some sort of crude bionics. And its body is hooked up through some tubing to a pump that looks like it's recycling, you would guess, some kind of promethium mixed with blood into its body. But it is not breathing.
Eric will turn to Gavious. What is this? Have you seen this before?
It is some type of, I guess, reconstitution of.
You can give me a scholar check. Either one of you could, to get a better idea of what the heck's going on here.
You only have 4 in scholar. God, you're.
I'm really good with the pew pews, not with the.
Yeah, so you have no idea. I mean, you understand basic orc hierarchy, so you know that this guy was obviously a painboy, responsible for patching orcs and gobos up and getting them back in the fight. But as to what he's actually experimenting on here, you have no idea.
What I do know, it's worth unplugging.
Can Birk take a look at whatever the machinery is, just to see, like, is this entirely of sort of orcish ingenuity, or does it seem like they have repurposed other tech?
Give me a tech roll.
Okay. Difficulty on that?
Just 3.
Okay. That is 5 successes with 1 shift if necessary.
You want to shift for extra information?
Sure.
Okay, so it clearly was an Imperium vacuum pump originally of some kind, used for vehicle maintenance. But it's buried so deep under orc modifications that it was almost impossible to discern that. It's clearly been retrofitted to be artificial lungs and a heart, essentially. If it was functioning, you could tell that's what its purpose was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that the promethium and blood mixture is he was trying to create a walking bomb, basically. He wanted to turn this goblin into a suicide gobbo.
God, I love these things. So Pyrrhic will turn to Gavious. The flesh is leak. This one they intended to make incendiary. It is incomplete. They had not the intellect.
Well, all the better for us then. Let's do what we can to make sure it can't happen in the future. And can we go in there and at least dismantle part of it to stop it from happening in the future?
Oh, yeah. You guys can take a couple of minutes and completely wreck this room without any rolls needed.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. So, Sister Celeste, Wigbert, Sister Nura, you hear up in the corner where Talav and Gavious went, you hear banging and the sounds of destruction. And then you see the two of them walk out and start walking towards you down the nave. Where would you like to go?
Sister Nura is going to kind of point to where this monk is, and she's going to follow the monk and probably kind of leave their line of sight.
Does everyone follow Brother Ricard? And okay, so he takes you past the pews, down the corridor that runs along the side of the pews, and then there's a curtained off alcove, and he opens it, and you see down a long hallway. It's clearly the cells where all of the monks have their living quarters. It's a long corridor. All of the doors seem to be shut. You don't hear any Imperium voices, but about halfway down the hall, you do hear the sounds of two orcs arguing. So how do you want to move your way down this hallway?
Stealthily.
Okay. Whomever is the best at stealth can give me a stealth check for the group, if you'd like.
Probably be me here.
I have a
Be
2.
you, Wiggy.
4.
I would hope the stealthy assassin is the best at stealth.
5 with the 1 shift.
Okay, so that's your stealth score now is 5. So keep track of that. What do you want to shift for? You could shift for glory. You could shift. That's really probably your best bet to shift for glory.
Yeah, I'll send it to glory.
Okay. I will drop it in there for you. So you're being fairly quiet, you think. And the way it works is we compare your stealth score against their passive awareness unless they're actively searching for you. So you'd expect they probably don't have a passive awareness score greater than 5. And what you're hearing is you creep closer down the corridor. You guys can move your tokens down into this corridor. I can do it for you. Actually, if you guys can run it. My foundry is locking up a little bit.
Oh no! Where'd everyone go?
Yeah, I've lost.
It's just me and Gavious. Everybody else is the spin of the earth.
Looks like it's become a buddy cop movie.
Hey Jeff, if you can you just open up visibility for everybody? Just because I lost all visibility now too.
I was gonna bring you tokens of them.
Okay, thank you.
I was 2 days from reclamation.
I ran into a wall.
Reclamation. That's good.
As you move closer, you hear one of these orcs in a very, very broken, guttural, low Gothic is, "You're not supposed to be down here sleeping. The boss said you're supposed to patrol. Get out the cot. You hear a grumbly, sleepy sounding orc voice. You go patrol. I tired. I'm not doing it. Ain't no humies left anyway. We can't get to the ones that are here anyway. And they're just bickering back and forth. What would you like to do?
Are they impeding the way, or can we go past them?
They're about halfway down the hall, and what you know of the layout of this, it's where a corridor is. You know, if you go off to the east, it opens up into the atrium area, and then if you go off to the west, that's the direction that Ricard wants you to go, which is off towards the chapter house. But if you get down closer to that corridor, that's where you see them out of the corner of your eye now. The two of these orcs on either side just arguing, almost coming to blows. But they don't see you or hear you coming because they're too focused on one another.
Sister Nura will raise her gun to shoot at one of them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I'll turn the corner and just take them out.
Okay, so we will go ahead. We will start because they don't know you're here. We'll let each of you get a surprise action. Starting with Sister Nura.
All right. So Sister Nura is going to attack the one that would be sort of on her left, coming down.
Okay.
Let's. That is 9 successes and 2 possible shifts.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Do you want to shift for extra damage or do you
Yeah,
want
because I think we're getting pretty maxed on glory, so I think extra damage would make sense.
If you right click on the roll damage button, you can edit the test and then you can add in the 2 to the extra dice, the ED.
That is 16 damage.
16 damage. Okay.
Brutal and rapid fire.
Brutal and rapid fire. So, what's it look like when you round the corner on this orc and with a bolt gun leveled at it, basically point blank, and you fire into it? I mean, completely destroying it. So, describe the horror of what a bolt round does at point blank range when it hits orc flesh.
So she was kind of coming down quietly and they were kind of arguing with each other. So she took a very low stance as she was just kind of crouching down, kind of letting them do their argument. So she was kind of on the left side and shooting across. Mm-hmm. And so the shot kind of went up in kind of its angle. So it just kind of hit a little bit high up and just sort of like went up in that direction. So like the one guy is like talking and then suddenly that one is not there anymore to talk to.
So basically from his sternum up, it just becomes this explosive red and green mist as shredded orc flesh pounds against the ceiling. And your stealth score goes to 0.
Sure.
Who's up next? There's one orc left. He's turning. You can see his mouth start to open to scream the word "Hoomies." You hear the sounds of orc laughter coming from both the left and the right down either one of these corridors.
You up there, Wigbert?
Yeah, as he opened his mouth, my blade just inserts.
Excellent.
So
I will say that this is a simultaneous attack, basically. So you still have your stealth score at this point. So you can use your Eviscerator if you want and add the extra 5 ED if you hit on damage.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it. So your defense is 2, so that's the DN you need to go against. Sorry, I should have told you that, Melissa.
Okay.
These guys are a little less tough than the Mad Doctor. Well,
What a 6 success.
6 successes. Okay, so right click on the roll damage, and in the where it says edit test, and then where it says ED, put in 5.
Gotcha.
And then let's see the horror of this.
Ooh, a lot of 2s and 1s. Only 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay, well 10's pretty good. AP is 2, so that takes its resilience down to 3, which you do 7 wounds. So once again, describe what it looks like when this power blade kills this orc.
As he goes to laugh or scream out, my blade inserts into his mouth. I drag it down to his navel, and his guts just spill out.
I love it. I love it. But at this point, you hear pounding against the door and get ready to open it. An orc war cry coming from several mouths. They scream out, "Hoomies! Good tech! Big fight!" Coming from both directions as orcs begin to pour towards you. You are going to have an opportunity. So to do anything you want, they're not able to close the distance and get through those doors yet, but they are coming. And you hear them on either side of the doors as the door starts to open. But you guys get an opportunity to do something first if you want, whatever you want to do.
Are these doors just like pretty plain, like wooden or iron doors? Okay.
They're just standard like wooden doors. Basically, they wouldn't even need to open them. They could just basically run through them if they wanted to.
Gotcha.
Is there a path at the end of the hall?
The end of the hall down here is just a wall.
Okay.
So there's the ways out are blocked by the 2 orcs, so these guys are dead. So just get rid of them.
Yeah, we're like basically in like a dorm, like a sort of dormitory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go back the way you came, but you guys are currently. You can stand side by side, but you're a little cramped up in this hall. But they're going to be cramped up in this hall too.
Card wanted us to go to the west here.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted you to go this way.
I'll push the doors so it's in there.
Quietly, I might add, which we failed at.
Yeah. You're no longer quiet. But so you're going to open the door?
Yeah.
Okay. So you reach out and you open the door, and there's an 8-foot tall orc right in front of you. And I'm going to spend a point of ruin to seize the initiative as he's going to attack you. This orc boy, but he's going, "Oh, heal me! Thank you for the fight! Thank you!"
These guys are so considerate.
So bored.
I like these guys so much. They just seem so. Why are we fighting these? Oh, that's right, because it's fun.
Yeah.
And what is your defense, Wigbert?
3.
3? Okay. Ooh, wrath critical. Got 4 successes, so he hits. No possible shifts, so let's roll damage first. 9 damage. So what is your resilience?
6.
Okay, so you take 3 wounds. And remember, you can roll determination to shift, and the number of successes you get on your determination can shift wounds to shock. But let's see what the wrath, the critical is first. Visceral blow. Crimson showers the ground. The battlefield is a gory spectacle of spilled blood and unsure footing. The target suffers 1 mortal wound. The orc may fall down because he just knocked your guts out. So, all right. So you take 4 wounds. 1 of them you can't soak. So you take automatically 1 wound. On the other 3 wounds, do you want to try to shift any of those to shock?
Yeah, let me try to use my determination, but then I have the ability of glancing blow, where I can substitute my agility instead.
Yep. Okay, you got one success, so you can shift one of your wounds to shock. So you take one shock, one mortal wound, and 2 other wounds. You've got 3 wounds and 1 shock at the moment. How many wounds do you have in total?
7.
Oh, you're good. You're fine. Go ahead and give me a agility test, difficulty 3. So will the orc.
I got 5.
Oh,
success.
you're fine. You're fine. So you don't fall down as your guts come out. But the orc does. Falls prone. Lands on his back. Chortling the entire time going. Pulls up his big choppa and just smells the blood as his feet fall out behind him and he goes smacking onto his back. He's still laughing about it. Okay. But it's back to your guys' turn.
Since I was up here, can I shoot?
You can.
one?
And you
Okay.
see behind this orc is prone now, so his defense is 2 less. But you see behind him 3 other orcs coming.
Yeah, I'll shoot at distance to one of the 3 that are coming up.
Okay, so yeah, because the other guy's prone, so you can shoot over his head. I like it.
Okay. So she had been kind of crouched down, and then she kind of stands up and looks around the corner and shoots.
Oh, complication. Okay, you still hit. You only needed to get 3 to hit. So, what's your damage?
No.
Yeah.
Ran out of ammo.
So your magazine runs dry. So you're gonna have to take a simple action next turn to reload it. But you're down to just having 1 ammo now left after this, or you brought 3, so you got 2 ammo left after this after you reload. So keep track of that.
Acceptable.
Because if you run out of ammo with a bolt gun, it's not easy to find ammo out here. So
11 damage.
okay. 11 damage and -6. So yeah, so describe what it looks like. I mean, your magazine runs dry as you fire off, but you do kill the orc that was right behind the one that's prone. So what's it look like when you kill this one?
Yeah, so she kind of looks around thinking that she's going to get the one that Wigbert was attacking, and sort of like looks down to see that one's on the ground, and kind of looks kind of pleased that we're making progress. And so then she's just kind of like, next up, and just kind of gives a look like, oh, you're the lucky one, and just shoots like at the face.
Fantastic. So it goes back to the orcs at this point, unless you guys want to seize the initiative with Point of Glory.
That same orc is still up. Is that orc still alive? The one she shot at?
No, he's dead.
Oh,
She
he's dead.
killed him. The one laying on the ground at your feet is still alive because he's full health. He just fell down in your blood and guts. But you also hear on the other side of the corridor somebody rapidly approaching that door. So
Then I'll spend glory to receive the initiative.
okay, glory goes down to 5. What would you like to do? You see the one prone laying down right in front of you, and then there's 2 behind, deeper in the corridor who are running towards you. And at your back, you hear the sounds of the door on the other side starting to open.
I'll slice down the guy that's prone.
I like it. His defense is reduced since he's prone to 1, so that's your difficulty number. And
Pass
you
with
get a
3,
wrath
but
complication.
complication.
So roll your damage first.
10 damage to him.
2, so 3, 7. So first, describe what it looks like when you kill this prone orc, who's smiling up at you, still kind of giving you the thumbs up for coming to this fight.
Got my power blade wielded, 2 hands above my head. I come sliding down on him, prone, chop off his limbs.
Okay. He flops for a minute, and then as the light starts to fade from his eyes, he just once again says, "Daka, Daka, thanks," and dies. But let's roll that complication and see what happens.
Now I'm prone. I'm slipping it all over the viscera.
Yeah, you slip in your own guts and his guts, and your feet go out from under you, and you are prone. And now, the orc this orc that's running up sees you down, and just thinks that that's the best thing in the world. And instead of shooting you, he pulls out his big choppa and comes running at you. However, he's going to have to run through the viscera. So I'm going to give him an agility check to see if he stays on his feet. And he does not. He slips. He slips and he's prone, but he's going to attack you anyway, but it does make it more difficult. So he's laying right next to you as he brings this giant knife over to try to stab you. And he's smiling. He's looking right at your faces are just inches away from one another as he tries to bring this knife down on your chest. What is your defense?
3, but I get a +1, I think, because I have a parry weapon.
Okay, so I'm going to make your defense 5. So he's going to, you get an additional +1 for him being prone as well. So he's probably not going to hit you. Yep, does not hit. So, yeah, so it starts to come across, but he's wallowing in the guts, and it looks like part of the intestines of his buddy got tangled around his knife hand, and he isn't quite able to bring it down, and you're able to scoot out of the way, bringing us back to your side. Who wants to go?
I would like to cast the Passion on Talav.
Okay. Talk to us about the Passion.
The Passion is pretty cool. So I spend a faith and I inspire the Emperor's Wrath. I can select a character with the Imperium keyword within hearing range to gain double rank bonus dice to weapon skill test for 1 round.
Ooh, nice. All right. So you feel this. What's it feel like to Talav when he feels this Emperor's blessing upon him?
So his electus begin to glow more vibrantly than normal, and they start to course around. Like the electro leech staff like begins to sort of kind of spark out even more than it normally does. And like at that point, he might not even notice Sister Celeste like reaching and putting a hand on him, and so he's just probably like, "Thank you, Messiah, for blessing me." And he will, like, as he's staring down the hallway, just like waiting for an enemy to show itself. Like he's just cackling electricity. It's just like coursing off the walls and back onto him, and onto the walls and back onto him now.
Awesome. And where is Talav standing?
So I think Talav and Celeste were they weren't quite to the intersection of the dorm. So they were the dorm area. So they were kind of like a little bit further back. Okay. So I think he was just right in front. So he was just kind of waiting at this point.
So if that happens, so are you guys going to spend a glory to seize the initiative, or are you going to let the orcs go?
I was going to let the orcs go. I want them to come to me.
You hear that door on the other side kick through, and an incredibly large orc with crude orc bionics all over his body comes out, and he just screams, "Daka Daka!" and brings this massive slugga up. And you see him tinkering with it as he opens up on Sister Nura with his big shooter. What is your defense?
3.
All right.
See, now he's made the terrible mistake. He's made himself visible to Byrrc.
He has made himself visible.
Byrrc has a target.
All right, come on. Roll. It's okay. You can do it. Ooh, a wrath complication.
Poor guy. It's such a bad roll.
That's such a bad roll.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. So let's see what the complication is. Actually, I already know what the complication is because it's built into his character. His gun explodes.
Oh.
And he takes wounds. So you guys see this guy come through the corner, and he's got the largest gun. Sister Nura, you glance over your shoulder as you see him coming, and you literally think you could put your head down the barrel of this massive shooter. And he's been tinkering with it, and he fires it, and the barrel explodes, and the chamber explodes backwards, and shrapnel just tears through his throat, rips one of his bionic eyes out. He's got just a big, long sheath of metal sticking out of his left clavicle, and he's just giggling like a 5-year-old child as he still rumbles towards you. But it's no longer his turn. Let's see what you guys have.
Beer's gonna go at seeing, like, as the lightning is coursing off of him now, as he feels this invigoration from Sister Celeste, and then as he sees this piece of tech essentially explode and turn on him, he will, like, the old Messiah is with me, I have been chosen, praise be to him, he is strong, the force, and then he will just, like, rush down the hall in this huge charge, because just, like, it's like for him, he sees, like, the tech just explode, and he just knows he is being willed in the direction of this thing, and so he's gonna charge, but he's gonna do, like, charging, running, and then parkouring off each side, and he's gonna leap up and try to bring down this, like, Electro Leech, Raiden style Mortal Kombat smash on the thing that just shot Sister Nura.
I love it.
As he runs into. Okay, so that's gonna be, so I get double rank, you said, right, Sister Celeste?
Yeah, double rank weapon.
Okay, so that's gonna be +2 from that, and then +1 from my charge. So that's gonna be a +3 total to this.
Yep. Your difficulty number or defense for him is 4.
Okay. All right, so +3 for that, difficulty of 4. Okay. Let us rip. All right, that is 8 successes, 2 shifts possible.
Nice.
I am going to I just want to one-shot this guy. So I'm just going to improve. Yeah, I'm just going to go extra damage with my shifts. So that's going to be 2 extra damage dice on my roll. So let's do that. +2. Yeah, it doesn't like it when I try to edit the roll for...
I think when you edit
Interesting.
it, you're able to just roll it right after. It won't roll it for you.
Oh, okay.
But it'll take into account that you edited it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It's 20 points of damage, -2. Agonizing and brutal.
All right.
Oh my god.
So describe what it looks like when you bring your electro staff down on Mech Fast Daka.
So
horribly
I just like to
killing.
think it's a whirlwind of electricity. Like, as like he is just coursing with the forces, the motive forces. He's just seeing it and feeling it, and like the electus are just glowing so bright that, like, maybe it's almost blinding Sister Nura as you turn, because that's how bright he is. And in a flash, like a literal flash, he just obliterates this creature, and then it starts to fade. And as Nura, as you look back, you just see on the ground there is just paste. This electrified paste, where there moments before was an orc, and he will literally call and praise to the Omnissiah at this point for the miracle that it, like, he will turn to Sister Nora. Like, he has no eyes, but what is normally like that sunken, burnt out sockets are glowing, and he's like, "You have borne witness to the miracle." And and so I'm gonna say he completed. That's an objective complete, as he has praised for
Nice.
Nice.
Get your extra wrath there. So now the orc that was behind Mech Fast Daka comes screaming out and starts screaming, "Double Daka, double Daka!" as a large stick bomb is thrown right at your feet here.
Oh no.
So let's see how he does here.
Oh dear.
Okay, so all I need was a difficulty 3 to hit the location. So what that means is Birk, Sister Nura, and Wigbert, you're in the blast radius. Now, what you can do is you can attempt to dodge an effect. So it's basically you're taking your next turn right now. It's basically a full defense. So what happens is you're going to take the full defense combat action, and for every +1 icon you get, you're going to add it to your resilience instead of your defense, so it reduces the damage. And the full defense is
It's roll your initiative dice
So,
pool,
yep.
it says on the cheat sheet. Yeah.
Initiative dice pool. So let's roll the damage first and see what we're looking at here. It might not matter to you guys. No, 20 damage. That's a lot of
yeah.
damage.
That looks like it might
That's a
matter.
lot.
That matters. Yeah.
That matters.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
I just did it, so it's not that hard to hit 20 damage, guys.
So you want to roll your initiative.
Okay.
You're gonna blow up and just be a mist of blood on my face. I'm like,
Oh god, where was initiative again, guys?
With the rest of the stats on the
The
attributes.
attributes. The center one.
Yeah, thank
Nura
you.
got 4 successes and a wrath critical.
Okay.
I got 2. I would like to spend Wrath.
Yep.
Oh,
Just get a
dear.
wrath to reroll.
We also both rolled wrath complications there, Wigbert.
We'll deal with the complications after we deal with the rest.
I too am gonna spend some. Yeah.
Oh,
Spend a wrath,
still
reroll
failed.
everything. It's not really a fail thing. It's just the number of icons is the number of resilience you add to your resilience. So
I'm also gonna
Is glory
spend
possible
glory
Yeah.
to increase my die
yep, you can do that.
by 1. So that's
Was that
gonna
before
be-
you roll?
It's after you roll and after you do your reroll. Then you can spend a point of glory to try to. Damn,
Okay, so 5 total successes for me, but 1 complication.
okay. And Wigbert, you got a total
2
of
for me in a
2
comp.
successes.
Yeah.
And Nora got 4 successes and a wrath critical. So I'm going to give Nora 8 successes just because that's going to be your wrath critical. So what's your resilience?
10.
10. So you take 2 wounds.
Okay.
And you can roll determination if you want to try to shift him to shock.
I still
Or you
have
could
2
just take it.
shock,
Okay.
so I think I might just leave it.
Okay. And Tal, your total with
I had a
with-
total of 5. I do have 1 shift possible if that would apply in anything in this situation.
Yeah, you
but I
can
also
you can
have-
shift it. You can shift it to another success.
Okay, so I'll do that then. So that's 6 total.
And what's your resilience?
Okay. Resilience
It's on the
is
combat.
also 6.
Okay, so 12. So that's 8. Do you want to roll determination to try to shift some of that to shock?
Yeah, I will. Because I when I hit, I basically sap. So I'll do that. So it was 8. It was
Yep.
8 damage, right? 8 wounds. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so that's 3. He'll turn to shock. So
Okay, so you take 5 wounds. How
got
are
it.
you looking on wounds?
5 of 9.
Oh, okay, so you're fine. And then Wigbert, you had a total of 2 successes.
Yeah, that'll give me 8 resistance.
So that's 12. Do you want to try to shift some of those with determination?
Yes, I do. And I can sub my agility for this.
Yes.
Got
4
4.
successes. Okay, so you take 4 shock and 8 wounds. How are you looking?
Probably into pieces.
What's your total wounds?
Oh no.
4 shocks put me 6. 8 wounds puts me at 11 out of 7.
So you had 7. So you're at -4. Or you've maxed out your wounds.
How's
So-
11 over 7? Like you're,
Yeah,
you have
11 over 7.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you're 11 over 7.
Okay.
What is that exactly? I'm not sure.
Okay, so you're dying. The explosion happens. Talav and Sister Nura are injured, but you're able to dive out of the way. Wigbert, just because you were already kind of prone and you were in the viscera, you take the brunt of the blast, and you are in the dying state now. So you take a memorable injury, but depending on if you take any more damage or not, you might be okay. So roll a d6 for me.
At least our healer is up and can do something about this.
Got a 5.
Okay, so you have a twitch. So basically, like you took enough damage that you've got like some
You got some nerve
muscle
damage.
twitch or some nerve
Yeah.
damage, which is permanent. There's no mechanical effect of it for it at this level, but you do have a twitch. So make note of that. And you are dying. The orc who threw the stick bomb, however, also died because he was in the blast radius. They're not that bright.
Seriously, these are the best. I love them so much.
they're the Three Stooges on steroids.
God, they're hilarious. They crack me up.
But that means that so Wigbert is down, Sister Nura and Talav have taken their turn for the next round. There are 3 orcs still left, and Sister Celeste and Gavious. What do? You hear this horrible explosion. You see areas of these cells get blown apart. You see this orc just get shredded, and you hear the screams of your teammates.
I want to be fair, by the way. I did roll a wrath complication too.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't think we resolved it. So I
go
wanna
ahead and
make
roll
sure.
that wrath complication.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one too.
Past problems. Something from my past comes back to haunt me. An old wound flares up in pain, or you're distracted by a memory.
So what is it that comes back to haunt you? What is it in that moment?
Okay. I think so he has, we've mentioned this multiple times, he has no eyes, his eyes have melted and burned, etc. But like the thing is though, Talav lost those eyes even before he sort of joined the Brotherhood of the Electro Priests. And I think in the moment in which he's coursing with the electricity and then that immediate shift downwards once it floods into him and then out and then the explosion, like there's this brief moment where he loses his his normal like electrical kind of matrix like vision, and he sees again like normal, and it is extremely disorienting and frightening and horrific because he's just seeing like flesh and physicality, and he's not seeing the force. And so that's probably what's kind of going with him. He has like this momentary like reverse like blindness where he actually can see.
And that's the shuddering terror for this electro piece, this, follower of the Omnissiah. There, nothing worse could happen. Wigbert, we're going to go ahead. You got a warp consequence. Now, it doesn't have to go this way, but we're going to do it anyway, because we're going to roll on the perils of the warp table. And we're going to see what happens here.
The Chaos Gods are watching me.
Yeah. The veil thins. The air within 25 meters of you thins, causing living creatures to suffer shortness of breath and dizziness. All creatures without... so you and Sister Nura and Talav in the moment are hindered. I cannot pull up what that is, but I'll tell you in a second.
I think it gives us penalties to our like attacks and things. Because I could do that with something and I can't remember off the top of my head.
Just double check what. Yeah, minus 1 to your tests. So,
which is weird because it almost feels like a side effect of the explosion because it kind of happens all at the same time. That suddenly, like, I feel like I dealt with the damage of the explosion, and then suddenly, like, I can't breathe properly.
Exactly. So the bomb explodes. Taliv's electrical pulses are pulsing in and pulsing out, and in that moment, Wigbert has almost a psychic breakthrough in the pain and fear and all of this bioelectrical energy around, and then the concussive force of the bomb literally fractures his fear and his rage and his pain fractures the Imperium for a moment, and this bit of this cloud of warp energy funnels out and begins to siphon the air through this small tear in the fabric of warp space. But that brings us back to Gavious and Sister Celeste. So you guys actually feel it. You feel the air now being pulled down the hall. And Gavious, you recognize the sensation. You felt the small tear between the warp and the real world, and you know that there's some strange breach down there. Not large, maybe just the size of a pinhole, but it's causing the air to be destabilized in the area. But you do still hear the sound of orcs barking out in laughter.
I'll advance forward so that I can I have an idea. I want to compel one of them. So I'll come forward on compel. Compel is I implant a simple command in the mind of a nearby creature. This command must be short, considering a simple action, simple and obvious, but can otherwise overcome the given creature's own interests or base instincts. So I'm going to say, I'm going to make an attempt to do that. So, let's say,
as you come down the hall, you see Taliv and Sister Nura. They've dove. They're on the ground. The entire area is blown. There's been shredded by shrapnel. You see Wigbert on the ground, only barely conscious and horribly injured by the blast. You see he's laying right next to another prone orc who is not dead, but you do see two standing orcs behind him who are trying to push their way past their prone friends so they can slaughter humies. So you could pick either one of them or the prone orc.
I'm going to pick the two that are trying to advance so I can try and stave off the attack. It is a DN4 willpower test. Okay. So willpower, so DN4. So 4 success, 3 failure. So I got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell one of the standing orcs and compel him to turn his gun on the other orc and blast him in the face. That's what I'm asking him to do.
Okay, so really, it's not your role. It just it's their role to.
Oh, it's their role. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I did it.
No. So what are you telling this orc to do?
I would say blow the other orc's head off with your gun.
I like it. This is going to shock you, but orcs don't have a lot of willpower.
Oh, weird.
Kill Humie. Me kill Humie.
Shockingly, he goes,
oh no.
He's like, Humie? You can't have the Humie. He's my Humie. And he puts the barrel of his slugger right next to his buddy's head, and basically he's going to get an ambush attack off on this against his pal. And he hits. He does 11 points of damage. There was 6. So he turns. He basically just puts the slugger against his the other orc boy's head. He's like, "Hey, Yumi's a mine to kill," and he pulls the trigger, and this other orc's head just disintegrates, and his body is still trying to walk forward a little bit, and the orc that just shot him pats him on his back. Better luck next time, brother. And it's the orc's turn. This guy's confused. He's not exactly sure what's going on. His friend is dead. The one guy that's on the ground who's prone is going to take a free action to stand up. And he is going to swing his choppa down at the only person in range, and that's Wigbert Hahn.
Ruh-roh.
Oh no. Is it too late? It's too late.
Did you want to seize the initiative?
Yeah.
I'll let you seize the initiative.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it too late? It's too late.
Never let it say that I don't believe in the Emperor's mercy.
So you know how I have augmented legs?
Mm-hmm.
I want to curb stomp him.
Oh yeah, we do.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
Fair to hear about
I
these
like
legs a
this.
little more.
I love this idea. So what I think we're going to need to do here, though, is to get to this guy, you have to get basically over the prone bodies of Sister Nura and Talav and Wigbert and all the viscera that's on the ground and the decapitated orc to get to this guy. So first, we're going to need a difficulty 3 agility test.
Okay.
Now,
Does it have any effect? Because my augmented legs grant me 2 extra meters to any jump. So can I try and just do like a long jump over all the nonsense and then land on this guy's
You're
head?
trying to Goomba stomp this guy?
Kinda, yeah. That's the thought.
I like it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So
this is gonna... No, go ahead.
I don't know what I would roll for this because it's
So this is going to be an unarmed attack. So basically, you're gonna roll your weapon skill,
okay.
and I will tell you what kind of damage you're going to do with an unarmed. Unless there's something special you're trying to do with it, like are you trying to knock him prone, or you just want to injure him with it?
I just want to hurt him.
Okay. So just a normal weapons check there. Yep.
4. I don't know why my DN. Oh, is
Yeah,
it because I'm wounded?
Yeah. Well, your DN will go up because you're wounded. Yeah. So what was the DN placed in it? It should have just been 2 to start.
I could click it again. It says base is 6.
Okay,
but my
that's 'cause
dex
your
pool's
wounds.
4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, but you got, so you failed. So you
Got
jump
it.
over, but you're so injured and so beaten that you actually make the leap. But this orc kind of just shifts out of the way and gives you a strange look as you fly past him. And he just kind of goes, Yumi? It's not jumping time, Yumi. It's fighting time. And that brings us back around. But Wigbert's out or down. Talav and Sister Nura, all of your turns are you don't have a turn this round because you took full defense. So that brings us back to Gavious. There's one prone orc. Well, no, there's the one orc that got up.
That orc that got up, was it damaged at all?
No, it just slipped in guts.
I'll just turn and try and blast him with my shotgun.
Okay.
With my combat shotgun.
Okay, his defense is 2.
So do I just click on the combat shotgun? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you should just be able to, under the combat tab, you should just be able to click on the weapon.
Oh, it's not equipped.
Go ahead and if you go into your gear, just hit the equipped button.
Okay.
You call yourself an Imperial Inquisitor. You don't even know how to equip a gun?
I don't know how to. I'm clicking the thing. It just gives a description.
There's an equip button.
Yeah, I equipped it, but like to do the ability.
Oh, then go back to the combat tab,
Yeah,
Oh,
combat
okay.
tab.
and then
Gotcha. So what was it again?
Sounds
The
like,
base what?
TikTok.
2. Defensive 2. All right, you got 2 successes, so roll your damage. So
Oh,
shotgun
okay.
blasts off. 10. Okay.
Nice.
Shotgun rounds hits him center mass, tears huge chunks out of his flesh. You can see his ribs little loops of his intestines start to coil out, but he just smiles. And you see this giant gap tooth grin. And he goes, "Rumble!" And he shoots you. He tries to shoot you back.
Why? What's his problem?
What is your defense?
A good offense.
Where do I see? Well, I run like a 4-4 cover 3 shell.
Classic, classic 4-4. Buddy Ryan style.
Yeah. Deep thirds. Where that defense be? Is that in our notes? I try to find stats.
Oh, wait.
It's under the combat. It's under the
Oh, under
tab.
combat. Okay. Defense is 2.
Okay. But he is wounded, so it's a little higher for him.
Man, I'm really vulnerable in the flats if you do a rollout. Some play action stuff is a little rough on me. But it's good against some trips and double looks. Shit.
He missed 3
Oh yeah.
because he's injured.
I saw all those eagles, and I was like,
too.
And he got a complication. So
I saw so many eagles, I was like, oh boy.
So he fires his slug off, but because he basically just stood up in his own viscera, and his feet fly out from, and again he goes smacking back onto his back. He's like, "Oh, no fair, homie! Fight on the ground with me. Lay down and fight on the ground with me." All right.
I feel like
sister.
we're that Jason Statham movie where he coats himself in oil and fights all the guy like
Slimes
coated
around
in
you.
oil. Whatever the hell was like Transporter or something like that. That's basically
All right, let me tell you something, okay?
Sister Celeste, you sailed past this guy, and he slipped and he's on the ground again.
Can I just attempt to shoot him with my lost pistol?
You can.
Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Shit. Can
Complication.
I?
You succeeded.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, you didn't because you're
No.
D6. That's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're wounded. You can re-roll the 2 if you want.
Yeah. I'll
Spend a
try-
wrath point.
We'll try it. Nice.
All right. So you succeeded. Roll your damage and then we'll roll your complication.
So many complications are happening.
So 7 damage.
7 damage. So this laser, you shoot him, and he looks down. Ouch! Use a bigger gun. Make this a real fight. Roll your complication.
I drop a piece of war gear, a grenade, a map, a data slate, survival pack, something else important.
What do you have? What kind of gear do you have?
Do not drop a grenade right now. That would be bad for all of us.
This goes right into the whole of his body.
I have my last pistol, my chain bayonet, and my tools.
I'll let you pick. Pick one of those things to get dropped and lost in the scuffle.
I can buy another chain bayonet.
All right. So in this fight, somehow your chain bayonet gets knocked off and it gets coated and lost amongst the orc body parts. Bringing us back to the orc, who now stands up once again, unsteadily. Ugh. No more falling. And he will attempt to shoot one of the two of you. I'm going to say he tries to shoot Sister Celeste because she shot him with something very un-orky. At least Gavious tried to shoot him with something orky. But he is wounded. So what is your defense?
My defense is 1, the worst.
Okay. But he is wounded, so his it makes it a little harder for him to hit. But he does hit.
But he does.
11 damage. So what's your resilience?
My resilience is 8.
Okay. So that's 3. Do you want to try to shift any of it to shock with a determination roll?
No, because even then that wouldn't help me.
Okay. So you take 3 wounds, but
So
you get 4
I'm
back, so you still have
dying
1, right?
again. No, because I only got
Oh,
2
no.
back because we didn't.
Oh,
do a
that's
rest.
right. You didn't do a regroup. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
dying again. Give me a D6 roll.
6.
6.
That's the bad one,
Oh
isn't it?
no!
I gotta go back and look. Hold on.
Just make sure that when the warp takes you, that you leave those legs behind for Byrrc to remember.
You can replace your own. You're like, these are expensive.
Yeah.
So your ear gets torn off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a memorable injury. It's not a traumatic injury. You're just dying at the moment. You're not.
She's more robot than woman now. I mean, pretty much.
Hey,
So
you know?
your ear gets
Exactly.
torn off by the shot, and he giggles. Daka Daka, we call you lefty ear now. Bringing us back around to Talov and Sister Nura, and well, Wigbert is dying at the moment, but Talov and Sister
Yeah.
Nura, you're up.
I'll go if you're good. I'll go whack something. Can I step on top of Wigbert and fight the guy right in the door?
Yeah, step right
Okay.
over him. Sure,
So I will
Over
I'll,
or on?
just don't go
I'll,
prone.
Yeah. I'm gonna use his body as traction so my feet don't have to hit the slippery, bloody floor. Okay. So because I'm like kind of getting up, charge doesn't feel fair and it's way too crowded. So let's say I am going to attack. Nothing special. Okay. So trying to see if there's anything else I can trigger. Nope, there's not. Okay. So that is going to be 3 successes, which isn't going to be enough, but I will use Wrath and a Glory to re-roll. So let me... Oh, I did it. I keep doing it the dumb way. So let me re-roll.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get an extra 1 on top of this for the Glory. So that'll be another 1. So that's going to be 7 total successes. My
Which is
DN
enough.
was +2 because of my wounds.
Yep.
I have no shifts possible, so this is just going to be straight damage. Yeah, just straight damage. Oh, that's what I want to see. 19 points of damage.
Wow.
Get wrecked.
Oh Lord,
God,
your rolls are on
Electro Priest.
fire tonight.
There was a lot of icons.
A lot of eagles.
So is this
A lot of
electro
eagles.
staff? Describe what it looks like with
So-
this work.
So he clambers over on top of Wigbert. I feel like he's still he's a little nervous actually as he steps up and he's like pushing past here and there, and then his eyes shift back finally, and I think he feels once more like the presence of the motive force around us. He sees like it in the walls. His eyesight returns to normal. He feels his electus begin to glow. His electro leech staff crackles, and he just like taps it on Wigbert's boots. Blood me, and then he just with a big old like gigantic haymaker is gonna just bring it down right on the guy. And that's his turn.
And the electro staff, basically the electrical energy discharges in this orc's body and cooks him from the inside out. And smoke just billows out of his mouth. And he sort of starts to topple forward. He's like, ugh, good hit, homie.
I will.
And
I'm gonna put a
falls.
hand as he comes forward. I'm gonna put my hand right against his chest, and I'm just going to like tilt my head. And you just see as like this little bit of electricity, kind of almost like kind of ethereal, barely even visible, kind of saps out of him and out of the orc and kind of up his arm. As this sort of triggers my siphon vigor, as I actually get to restore shock when I deal 1 or more wounds, etc. As that happens, so I'm healing my shock basically.
As he slides off your hand after you The last words is "Good trick, Humi," and splatters on the ground next to Wigbert's dying body. There's one orc left.
It's been glory, Sister Nura.
And you see the orc pull out a stick bomb.
Just
and prepare to throw it.
Spend the glory.
I'm gonna die.
Yes, yes. Definitely going to spend the glory to take that. Now, I can still shoot though, right? Because I just have to reload because of the whole thing that happened
simple
before
action
we
to
got exploded.
reload, and then, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take your simple action to reload. That just means you can't aim. You just have to go.
Yeah.
Now, remember,
so,
you have the salvo option with your bolter. So, what's the salvo number on your bolter? 3? Is it? Under gear.
Let me switch tabs over to gear and salvo's 2.
Okay. So with salvo 2, you got different actions you can do if you want to. When it comes to that, trying to look it up right now. Got the wrong page. Basically, you can use your salvo to add. There's 3 different options, but one of them is to add extra dice to the damage. If you want to use your salvo for that.
All right, let's do the roll first and see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. So 4 successes.
And a wrath critical. Okay.
And a wrath critical.
Yeah. So you succeed. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That's going to be 12 damage.
12. Okay, that's good.
And then roll the critical hit.
Yeah, roll the critical hit.
Overpowering assault. A stunning blow sends the foe lurching away, senses blurred by the brutal impact.
Okay.
4 shock and is staggered.
Okay, so you didn't. I mean, he would have been shocked and staggered if he wasn't dead. So describe what happens when the bolt round hits him. He's got this, he's got his finger on the pin for his stick bomb, getting ready to pull it, and you fire your bolter into him. What's it look
And
like?
so she kind of has to do the reload with the bolter, but you just see her just shaking her head as she's doing the reload. And just kind of like and then so when she shoots, she's aiming straight for like the hand that's about to pull, which of course is going to be more of him than just his hand. But that's like the first thing that comes off is the hand that was about to pull the pin.
And so, yeah, what happens is that bolt round hits his hand, explodes, and the explosion causes the stick bomb to explode. And the dual explosions just tear him into green chunks. And then, in that moment, all is quiet. You're beaten, you're bloody. Wigbert is down. But you don't hear any other noise. Other than, Gavious, you feel a tug on your back.
I turn around.
And you see Brother Rickard. He's going, shh.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet now. Okay, I get it. Fight's over. What do you need?
And he's motioning for you guys to follow him into the chapter house area. That's where these orcs just piled out of over here. But at the moment, you do have a party member down. So what would you like to do?
So I charge ahead. No, I'm joking.
One
So
quick
let's
look
shot.
back
you
at
take
them
the legs,
weak.
I'll take the arms, and we'll just throw Wigbert's body into the door.
He's
open.
fine.
It's like a battering ram.
I start dragging myself towards the door, leaving my blood trail behind.
We need to stop and address this, right?
Well,
Otherwise,
Sister Celeste is dying too, isn't she? Or no, she just took the ear thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, she just got an ear blown off.
Yeah, I can
She's
do the
been dying.
Medicaid roll.
Mm-hmm.
And he is dying, so that means I get 2 more
2 bonus dice with your medical. Yep.
Jeez, I'm re-rolling.
Wow.
Yeah, here, that's
Three
That's
successes.
with your difficulty being so high when you're wounded. That sucks.
8.
tragic.
There you
That's
go.
a
There you go.
way
One
better
And one
shift.
shift. So so Wigbert, you get 2 wounds back. So you see, as you wake up, kind of, well, you're awake, but as you come to full consciousness and full awareness, you see Sister Celeste in reverse of what was happening earlier. In fact, just moments ago, it feels like leaning over you, patching up your wounds.
Yeah, you feel me as I'm taking your intestines, and she's not doing it delicately because your intestines will adjust themselves, but she's just kind of shoving them in the cavity about where they should be, and then she like slaps this like really crude like numbing solution on your guts, and she just starts to like seal the wound.
Do you think
I
the
like it.
Emperor will like my guts now?
They've definitely been blessed.
It's like when you're trying to put laundry into a laundry like bag. You're just like, oh, God damn, come on. get
Well,
it
no,
right."
because did you know that when women get a C-section, they just take their guts and put them in a bowl on the side, and then they do the
I'm
same
very
thing.
aware of that, Ashley.
Yeah,
I'm
and
very
then they
aware.
just put them back in, and they move around to get back in position.
It is
It's
it's
crazy.
essentially Braveheart. They're doing Braveheart to women all over the world.
That is a birth control for myself.
It does sound horrible. That sounds worse than anything that could happen in Warhammer 40K. So I'll have nightmares now.
Children are grim dark.
You're welcome.
The children
Even though
are
I have
void.
9 out of 7 wounds, I'm not dying, but still have the wounds.
You took a memorable wound, I think,
yeah,
right?
you got a memorable one. That's the twitch.
So-
So you go to 0. You don't go to negative. So you went to 0 wound,
Okay.
and then you got 2 back. So you have 2 wounds. Well, I mean, you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I went over by 1, so that cleared me out because I took the memorable, and now I have 1 wound remaining.
So you heal up Wigbert to a point where he's mobile, and you make your way through the chapter house. It's a mess in here. You see orc graffiti on all of the walls. You see the furniture is broken. You see what looks like in one corner of the room is just a latrine ditch or area. It's not even a ditch. I mean, it's just where they went into the corner to relieve themselves. There was a fire pit in the middle, and it looked like they had probably been roasting, you're gonna guess, one of the pilgrims. But there are no orcs left in here. And to the south of this area, you see a door that's still sealed, and it's kind of, you guys see it obviously. It's sort of behind a wine cask rack. But you recognize, as soon as you walk up to it, you recognize that these are fake casks, and that the entire rack is on rollers, and you realize quickly that this is just a hidden door behind here for the monks. Do you go through?
Is there anything we can like listen to or maybe sense from that area or anything like that?
Yeah, give me an awareness check.
Just difficulty 3.
Yeah, just standard difficulty.
Nuts.
You can use willpower if you want.
I'll do willpower. So, what do I
It's
do
wrath.
for that?
Just right click on one of the fails. One of the the 2s. Just right click on that, and then on
Gotcha.
the pop up, reroll failed. There you go.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. You've got your ear to the door. It's very quiet, but you do swear that you hear voices in low Gothic. Well, one voice in low Gothic, just kind of like, we've got to find a way out. I know. Listen, I'm not doing this anymore. You can be as quiet as you want. I'm not doing this anymore. And that's what you hear.
I guess advancing quietly, stealthily.
Okay. So you open the door, and there's a very short corridor, and there's another door right in front of it.
Can I stealthily open that door, peek through a hole, or crack it open, something like that?
Oh yeah, you can give me a shot. Give me a stealth check to crack it open against their passive.
I have a stealth of 2. Does someone else have a better sense of stealth?
Hey, buddy, you are up there.
You're up.
You're the one doing it.
Okay.
You asked. Get it done.
Well, I have a stealth 2 and difficulty 3. It's impossible.
If you
If you
like
get
With
point
that kind of
to
attitude.
Nura will go up and
Assist.
You
What's
feel
the monk saying?
Sister Nura, you feel somebody tapping on your pauldron from behind.
Sister Nura turns around.
And you see Brother Ricard, and he's like, and he shuffles his way up to the door, and looks back at you guys, and gives you the okay sign, and waits for somebody to nod or something.
Sister Nura nods back.
And he opens the door, and you see tension kind of just wash out of his body. You know, this is where he was trying to lead you. You get the impression. And as the door opens, you see a group of 5 monks in this room. They're huddled in this room. And there's one young man, and he's the one who's talking. His head's bandaged. It looks like he's been injured. There's another woman, a twitchy, slightly older woman, with olive-colored skin and black hair and epicanthic folds to her eyes. And she's trying to bandage his head, and he keeps going, ow, ow. Enough, Nura, enough. Finally, listen, who are you? And you see Brother Ricard, and you see these other monks, and they just look disgusted with this guy. They're just like shaking their heads.
Sister Nora looks to Brother Ricard to see if he's gonna like start talking now that we're among other monks.
Right? He goes, he puts his hand to his mouth, and he shakes his head when you ask that question or intimate that. And so it's clear. And then this other guy goes, listen, they're not going to say a damn thing. We're a silent order, but I'm done with that. Frickin' orcs attack us. I'm not playing that game anymore. I got bashed in the head by one of those psychos. We got to get out of here. What?
We're your way out of here.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Listen, we got the rest of them. The rest of the monks have to be in the solarium. We got to go there first.
Solarium, where's that?
Listen, god damn it. Stop asking fucking stupid questions. It's on the other. I could get us there. All right, but I'm done with this, all right?
And Sister Nura just sort of stands up a little bit more kind of tall and just sort of looks at him. We are here to rescue. Kind of like, pipe down. You were screwed behind a wall.
Listen, sister, I'm sorry. I'm just really, I'm worried about the other monks, and we got to get out of here.
We have cleared the path.
You have your saint's thigh bone.
And he goes, what? Thigh bone? It's in the nave. I mean, last I saw, it's in a glass case there at the altar.
Take us there instead.
You're crazy. I'm not going back out there. Listen, we just got to get to the solarium. I know a way. I just got to make a pit stop on the way. We'll get the other monks, and then hey, Father Anatolius, he's there, and he'll know how to get there he'll know how to get to the thigh bone, and he'll know what's going on here. He'll be able to help.
Get moving. And she just sort of gestures with her gun towards the door.
No, we're not going that way. Are you kidding? I'm not going out there. There's other ways to get there.
Move.
And you see the other monks are like shaking their head like Sister Nora, since you're the one interacting with this guy for the book, give me an insight check. Difficulty 4.
Okay. I have 2, so I'll roll it and just, maybe.
Somebody can help. I mean, you guys are all sort of interacting with him. So if somebody wants to either give me a fellowship check or an insight check, either or, just the skill or the stat to give bonus dice to Sister Nura, they can. So somebody, or if you've got some other way, like Gavious, if you've got some psyker ability you want to use or anything?
Yeah, I could probe his mind. I have a 4 for insight, so I can help with that.
Okay. So why don't you give me an insight check? Just roll your 4 dice and let's see. As you're observing this guy. So, Sister Nora, you get 3 bonus dice.
All right. Insight and bonus dice of 3. Let me see if that rolls properly.
Last time I probed someone's mind,
5.
blood seeped out of the walls. I'm taking
That's
a bit
true.
of a break on that.
Yeah, and that fucked me up a little for a little while.
If you want to make an omelet.
Do you want to spend a wrath?
Sure. There we go. 5 successes and a wrath critical.
Okay, so you get a point of glory, and with the wrath critical, between you and Gavious watching this guy, there is something that's not right with him. There's more going on to this guy than meets the eye, and the monks are clearly upset by him. They're distancing themselves from them. They have not broken their vow, but this one guy has, and something about it's just not ringing true.
I'm gonna probe this man's mind.
All right.
Bloody
Talk to
walls
us
be
about-
damned.
Talk to us about Mind Probe.
So mind probe is at least one other telepathic power effect to activate this about on each of your turn. Wait. Why is this? On each of your turn this power is active, you may ask the target one question. The GM will provide an honest an answer as possible through target's memories and mental visualizations as they stream into your own consciousness, but be aware that the answers may be skewed by the target's personal perspective. The target suffers 1d3 shock for each question answered in this way. To sustain this power, you must win an opposed willpower test within your target at the start of each of your turns, then may ask another question if you fail to oppose the test. You are expelled from the target's mind and suffer a 1d3 plus 3 shock.
Okay.
I may not recover shock while sustaining this power.
I
So
like it.
it's a willpower. What is this?
It's an opposed willpower test to
Okay.
activate the power.
So my psychic mastery is 10. So it's just a roll by you, or is it?
It's an opposed willpower test.
Okay.
So you roll your willpower, and he rolls his willpower.
Okay.
Not
So
your psychic mastery, your willpower.
defense 3.
No, it's just you roll your willpower. It doesn't matter. It's just we're going to take the total
Yeah,
number of successes against total number of successes. You get 6 successes. Pretty sure you're going to beat him. Holy crap! He got 6 successes and a wrath critical.
Wow.
Triple 6s. So
Can I use a wrath to reroll my 2s?
I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you do it.
Just imagine you're just making this face where you're like focusing really hard, and then you're like, it's an even more squinty face because now you're going to focus even harder. Right.
I got 8 successes.
With 2 possible shifts. So with potency, for 1 additional shift, you can ask an additional question this round. So you could ask him 3 questions in total, or with the both shifts, you can say the target suffers no shock and is unaware of your psychic intrusion.
So can I do 2 questions and no shock, or is it one or the other?
One or the other. So it's your potency. Potency 1 allows you to ask additional questions.
I'll ask the 3 questions then. We'll do that.
Okay.
I don't care if this guy knows what I'm doing.
You force your way into his mind. He takes shock from it. You see it gets extremely cold in the room, and frost forms on this guy's face. And you see him start to shudder, and his eyes get buggy, and blood vessels start to burst in his eyes. But ask your 3 questions.
This is the hardest part. What do I say to not sound like an idiot? I worry about it being too general. Like, if I say
this is not like Dungeons and Dragons raising questions. You're gonna get you're basically probing his mind, so you're gonna get.
Is what are you not telling us? Is that too general of a question?
Yeah, that might.
Okay, that was my question.
Ask him if he betrayed.
Yeah, don't forget we are looking for people who
We're
are traitors.
Are you a traitor to those in this or did you betray those in this monastery?
And you see things flashing in his
Don't
mind.
laugh at me.
You see him as a young child in an underhive, scrabbling around, trying to survive, trying to make a protect him and his sister. Then you see him working in these undersumps, and you see him changing. And then you see the strange robed individual come up. And you hear an echo in the back of your mind, the changer of ways, Chinch. And you see flashes of cult activity, and you definitely feel that he is one of the traitors that is here. Now, you don't know in what way he betrayed the Empire, but the Imperium, but he feels that he himself is a traitor to the Imperium and is clearly a cult member.
What act of heretical nature did you impose against the Emperor?
And with that, you see him and this young woman coming to the monastery and pretending to be pilgrims and then pretending to become monks. And then you see in an area of the monastery that you haven't been yet, these rows and rows and rows of these desks and basically a clean room. And you see these senior monks in absolute silence building the Emperor's tarot cards, which you know are psychic focuses that they're able to be used for divination. And you see him quietly stealing them and hiding them in storerooms, and then so he can channel them out and get them off of the island. So he is stealing psychically aware Emperor's tarot decks for the cult of the Changer of Ways that he belongs to. One more question.
Who are you sending these tarot cards to?
You get an image of them going out. You see a fisherman come out to the island. And when he's collecting garbage and refuse and things like that to be taken back to the mainland, because there's no place to dispose of it here at the island, they're hidden in that. You're not sure if the fisherman even is aware that that's what he's carrying, but you know that they're taken into the mainland, into the city. At that point, he does not know who they go to. He just knows that he's been ordered here to do this. And those are your 3 questions. And he recoils now as you... Well, you can sustain it if you want to continue to push at him.
Yeah. No willpower check.
Okay, I like it.
I'll make this guy's head explode.
So do a roll a D, what is it? 1d3. Roll a D3 for me. So roll a D6 and cut it in half. 1. Okay, 1. So, he's got a little bit of blood dripping out of the corners of his eyes and a little bit out of his nose, but he's still on his feet. So,
all right, so another willpower check.
Another willpower check. Opposed willpower. 6 successes with a possible shift. Okay, let's see how he does.
So proud.
I'm gonna make this guy's head pop like a pimple.
So proud of you.
So you got 1 possible shift, so you could get 2 questions out of him if you want.
So then I go.
And he starts to shake. I mean, you remember the old Scanner movie when he gets rigid, starts to shake as you force yourself deeper into his thoughts.
Do you have any other allies here in this building?
And you feel everything in his mind is trying to stop, but an image of a young woman appears with very close pursed lips. She's wearing a hooded vestment and very voluminous robes, and the name Calliope comes into your mind.
Where is Calliope right now?
And at that, he feels frantic. He's trying to find her himself. He thinks she's probably with the rest of them in the rest of the monks in the solarium, but he's afraid she might not even be alive. So you get these flashes of images, but his best guess is that she's in the solarium.
Okay. How attached are we to this guy? Not at all.
At all.
All right, let's keep pushing.
Well, okay. So first roll me a D3 again. See how much shock he takes.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so he takes. So he passes out. So basically, you fry his mind, and he slumps to the ground. And the rest of the monks are like, and Brother Ricard is scribbling, and he points at you. What is going on?
This man is a traitor to your what is it? Is the word cloister, Jeff? Is that the right word of these monks?
We're at you could just say monastery.
Monastery
would probably be more accurate.
This man is a traitor to your cloister of monks.
and they look on in disbelief. How do you want to convince them of this? I mean, you do have two sisters of battle here with you, and they are, they are the warrior goddesses of the ecclesiarch. So it's not going to be that hard to convince them. But
could I search his body for any type of sign of the sneech of the god he is a part of? Is there something on him maybe I can find?
Absolutely. Just give me an awareness check. Just a difficulty 2. I mean, he's unconscious, so.
Nuts. And I'm out of wrath.
Yeah. When you search him, I mean, he doesn't. But you do realize he doesn't have any physical deformities. So you don't see anything like that. But you could try a different tact for convincing them, or anybody else can jump in and. I mean, do you share the information?
Yeah, everybody knows. I've told everybody what happened. Otherwise, he passes out. It's really quiet, and he passes out. I'm like, all right, guys, let's move on. It gets really weird if I do that.
So the monks are shocked when you say this. Does anybody... And it's not that they don't believe you, but they don't want to believe you. So what would you say, or how would you approach convincing them that this... So particularly, you see, when you explain all this to them, they don't seem to react when you say that this guy, Thaddeus, is a traitor. But when you mention that Calliope is... They are like shaking their head, like, almost emphatically saying there is no way that's true. So what do you do, or how do you prove to them that they should take your word as gospel?
Can Sister Nura kind of try to do what Gavious was trying to do, and just kind of you got everything you could from his mind. Just take a rest. And so can she kind of repeat his kind of failed attempt? With the athletics.
What do we know about the cult of the Changer?
I mean, it's a Shin's cult, so it's a cult of one of the ruinous powers. There's several different cults. I mean, you don't actually. Well, you could give me a scholar check, but it'd be a difficulty 5 to be able to piece together anything about this particular cult.
7 successes on the athletics with a possible shift.
It was an awareness test, unless you're trying to pick him up and beat him around or something.
Pick him up.
No, it's okay. Well, if that's the case, if you're doing a suplex on him.
Sorry, I just looked at the chat and Gavious had rolled athletics, so I just rolled the same thing.
Sorry. No, yes, should have been awareness.
4 success. No, never mind.
Yeah. So you honestly, you see no physical defects on this guy, but you also know one thing. You definitely know, Sister Celeste and Sister Nura and Gavious for sure know, not all mutations are physical. Some of them are spiritual, some of them are psychic. So he may not actually show any physical signs of being, a cultist of the Changer of Ways, but that doesn't mean that he's not part of the cult.
Could I do a leadership check to inspire these monks to believe what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And in fact,
I did it, guys.
Wait.
Take
what?
2 bonus.
What's
take
it
2
called?
bonus.
What check is that?
What? How? What? Take 2 bonus dice, 1 for each of the sisters being there with you, to your roll. Just difficulty 3.
A lot of dice.
7 successes and a wrath complication. Let's roll your complication first. You got two possible
And two
shifts.
possible shifts.
Okay, I'm going to say because of all the psychic energy that you were using, what do you have any mechanical equipment on you?
I have an Auspex.
So your Auspex blows out. It's repairable. In fact, Talib could probably repair it with an hour of time, but the
Here you go.
psychic energy overloads your Auspex temporarily. But you're able, as you're explaining this with the sisters behind you and going through it point by point and explaining your mission here, and showing them the writ of the Veronius family writ that has you as members of the task force, these monks finally acquiesce and accept the fact that, I mean, they easily accepted that Thaddeus is a traitor, but they've also accepted that Calliope is a traitor. And so they bind Thaddeus, his hands behind his back, and they motion you over, and a sliding panel, completely hidden sliding panel, slides aside, and you see this stairway going down. And Ricard writes out on his pad, "This is the night stairs. We can use it to travel all throughout the monastery. We'll head to the solarium."
Is
And
the thing with the shin bone, is that back where we were, or is
that would be you. I mean, that's where it was stored, was back there.
Okay, I was just
You
curious
guys were
about
up near the altar. You didn't see it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I was looking at the map. There's clearly like this, like,
Yeah, the entire area
Case.
was desecrated, and there's graffiti everywhere. There was broken glass everywhere. You did not see the thigh bone up there. The one thing that Thaddeus told you that's probably true is that the leader of the monks will probably have more information.
Okay, all right. I was just trying to remember what was said and where it was
Yep.
at.
Yep.
Okay.
And with that, as our crew makes their way down into the hidden tunnels around the monastery to find the rest of the monks, with these 5 silent monks and 1 traitor in tow, or 5 silent monks and 1 traitor in tow, we'll call it a night for tonight, and we will leave the Imperium of Mankind and Warhammer 40K aside for another 2 weeks. But please come back to us in 2 weeks as we continue the vow of silence. Our team's pretty beaten up. Who knows? They might want to take a little break when they get to the solarium. But they're tough. They can probably handle it. Another stick bomb or two. They'll just shake it off.
Oof.
They'll just shake it off. Thanks everybody for watching. And I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff now to tell us about all the other fun and exciting things on the Lollygaggers.
I realize I
Garblag.
have myself muted. So yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about Garblag, and I'm gonna drop a couple links in the chat and check the show notes as well, because we're talking about heroic deeds, because I know Pete just put up the Kickstarter preview page today.
That's right. So starting next week on Tuesday, Millie is going to be back at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, continuing her run of her Coriolis campaign. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen any of the Free League Coriolis game, you should check it out. It's a great game. On Wednesday, God's willing, all of my players will be healthy, and we will be back at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Marvel Multiverse. We are playing the Cataclysm of Kang. We're on the rank 2 Friendly Neighborhood adventure, and I would really, really like to either kill them all or get them to rank 3. So come and watch me try to do both of those things. Then on Thursday, as Jeff alluded to, you can come check out Pete, the Mr. Garblag himself. He's going to be running his own game that he made called Heroic Deeds. It's kind of an old school feel with modern mechanics. It's a fantastic game, and he has got the Kickstarter preview page up, and it's going to come to Kickstarter probably in February. I've got the quick start rules. It's a lot of fun. So if you enjoy some old Dungeons and Dragons and the like, it's got that feel, but it's got some very neat, streamlined, modern mechanics to go with it. So definitely give that a shot.
Fantastic. And then aside from that, tomorrow, come back tomorrow, hang out with us on Saturdays. We got our Call of Cthulhu campaign, Eternal Lies. And then Monday, you can see Melissa and I playing some Fragged Empire, another space sci-fi game with crazy aliens and such. So come hang out with us. And then Tuesday, you'll see Aaron, myself, Melissa, as we are back to playing Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, continuing our X-Men themed campaign, School's Out. Steven's going to try to get us to leave Mojo World, but we might just hang out for a bit because it's a very nice place.
Very
nice place.
A little Mojo condo and have some fun.
Absolutely. And then Thursday we got Werewolf the Apocalypse as well, and definitely check out the YouTube page, Adventures in Lollygagging, to see all of their games that we have up there, including our current Delta Green game and Monster of the Week, and plenty of old stuff that we've been running for the last few years. Also, I wanted to do another thank you again to, I think it was Folk in Myth and Entropy Emporium for the raids. We really do appreciate it. If you didn't check them out when we gave the shout out earlier during the stream, go check them out now. Throw them a follow. And we're going to pay it forward now as well. We're going to raid Swole Initiative Network and follow us along. Unfortunately, our buddies at Defenders are not playing tonight, but let's go see what Swole Initiative is doing. So we'll catch you all later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
See you.